October 11th, 2023. We're at Merillon Avenue station on the main line. Gonna rail fan the main line today. Might even be able to get some plane spotting in too, because planes are using runway 22 at JFK. And if weather could be described as $1 million day, this is worth 100 million. Not a cloud in the sky, beautiful sunny day, 72 degrees. This is just the best kind of weather you can get in October. It's Bucky Dent Baseball Day. This is the kind of day in October of '78 where Bucky Dent hit that infamous home run at Fenway Park that caused the Yankees to beat the Red Sox that day. It still hurts. Well, I'm on the eastbound platform at Merillon Avenue. The sunlight is better over here. Got RS-41 from Babylon to Freshborn stopped east of here waiting for traffic. Should have a couple of diesels. Lufthansa Airbus 380. Coming in from Frankfurt, no doubt. Well, coming into Merillon Avenue eastbound at 313 is train 1654 from Grand Central to Huntington with M9s. I hadn't seen any M9s yesterday when I was at Cold Spring Harbor, so it's nice to see some today. Should see quite a few on this busy mainline track. I like the M9s inside and out, but many will say that they don't have the flashy sound that an M7 has. Well, at 318, here comes train 1955 en route from Ronkonkoma to Penn Station. West on track 3. Thumping over Nassau 1 Interlocking to the east. Here comes British Airways. My old employer. .23, that was 559, Oyster Bay to Jamaica. This should have the 409. That was 2060 from Grand Central Terminal to Ronkonkoma. Oh, here's Qantas flight number 3 flying in from Auckland, New Zealand some 14 and a half hours ago. 787 Dreamliner. You can see the kangaroo on the tail. That's a Norse UK 787 Dreamliner coming in from Gatwick Airport in London. Well, approaching westbound at 343 is a train you can pretty much rely on. New York and Atlantic train RS-41. He's coming from One World out in Babylon to Fresh Pond. He's got a PR-20 doing it all by himself. He had help in an MP15, but he wasn't doing any work, just making a lot of noise. We got a drag race westbound 2055 Ronkonkoma Grand Central on the left. Was an M9 equipment move headed for Hillside Yard. He's been sitting behind that RS-41 stop for quite a while. Well, here's 1556 beside me from Penn Station to Huntington, departing with M7s. Here comes a plane I have to get. LL Flight 7 out of Tel Aviv for JFK. Ooh, thank God he got out of there safely. I bet the people on that airplane are happy to get out of there. 787 Dreamliner. Swiss Air, Airbus 330 arriving from Zurich. Okay, approaching eastbound at 406. He's a little bit late. Train 656, Long Island City to Port Jefferson. This starts the Port Jefferson rush hour fleet through here. Since the schedule change in February, a lot more diesels go through here. You got a good batch to Port Jeff, a good batch to Oyster Bay, and a good batch on the Montauk branch. Those Montauk branch trains, you didn't have that many of them prior to that schedule change. Well, here's 656, he has to stop at Mineola. Should have 1958 New York Ronkonkoma right behind them. Well, here comes 1958 New York Ronkonkoma at 409. M7s. Hyde Park now where the plane spotting's a little bit better. He's coming in from Amsterdam, KLM. Well, here's 1657, Huntington to Grand Central. Got 558 from Jamaica to Oyster Bay coming too. Salute there. All right, at 4:34, here comes 1658 from Grand Central to Huntington with the Flying Yankee. He'll be stopping here at New Hyde Park. Catch him going west at Floral Park, most likely. China Airlines from Anchorage. Here comes 1960, Penn Station around Ronkonkoma. 4:37, Ripon. Here comes 1992, New York Ronkonkoma. That was a train that was added. Schedule change after Labor Day. Time is 4:40. His first stop is Wyandanch after Jamaica. That's Aer Lingus UK from Manchester to JFK. Airbus 330. Great train watching and plane spotting spot indeed. What a stunning day this is. 4:44, here comes train 657, an off-peak through Port Jeff to Jamaica train. Here's 2057, Ronkonkoma to Grand Central at 4:47 with M9s. Man, here comes another cargo Lux 747 freighter. This one is from Luxembourg. The one I saw before was from Anchorage. This is wild card time for cargo arrivals. Well, approaching fast at 4:50 is 658. Hunters Point Avenue to Port Jefferson. He's got 521 on the point with a K5 LLA for the second day in a row. Coming in westbound at New Hyde Park at 4:53 is train 1559 from Huntington to Penn Station. M9s. Car 9129. Other than the paint job, these look somewhat like M7s on the outside, but they certainly don't sound like M7s. Totally unique sound. Oh, we got a train for Farmingdale with M3s coming. The old and the new. Train 2152 from Penn Station, New York to Farmingdale. Approaching at 4:57 is 2064 from Grand Central Terminal to Ronkonkoma. Flying down track number 1, the Great Long Island Railroad Triple Track. Approaching east now at 5 o'clock is train 18, Hunters Point Avenue to Montauk. This is one of those extra diesel trains that were put on this line with the February schedule change. He'll have 423 on the point with a K5 LLA, same as he did yesterday. Trying to encourage a horn show there, but no dice. Well, that was a Ronkonkoma to New York train of M7s at 5:02. Well, the diesel roar to the rest is train 560 from Jamaica to Oyster Bay at 5:03. Leader is D30AC number 408. It's 1962 from Penn Station to Ronkonkoma at 5:06. Well, here's British Airways arriving from Heathrow with a Dreamliner. Well, approaching east at 5:10, we got a drag race, 1558, New York to Huntington. He'll be stopping here. Train 80 is catching up to him en route from Long Island City to Patchogue. But I think he's going to get blanked out by this guy. You should hear him in the background. 80 is a train that was revived. It used to be the old 2778. That disappeared when the pandemic started back in 2020, but with the February 27th schedule change, that train was revived, but with a new number, 80. That was a Virgin Airbus 350 from Heathrow. Okay, approaching east at 5:21 is my good friend train 1056. Penn Station around Kakuma. More often than not, he has M3s, and he does today. He runs down track 2 to Queens 3, and then he switches over to 1 to get out of the way of train 761 from Hempstead to Penn Station. He'll be switching back over to 2 at Nassau 1. Another British Airways flight coming in. The plane and train watching today has just been outstanding. FedEx 767 arriving from Memphis. Arriving here on track 4 at 5:39 is 762 from Atlantic Terminal to Hempstead. One of those rare trains that come out of Atlantic Terminal that go east to someplace other than Jamaica or West Hempstead. The interlocking where the Hempstead branch diverges is Park 1 interlocking. Here comes 662, bound for Port Jefferson on track 1. Floral Park is an extraordinary place. Let me explain just a moment. This is an elevated station. It was elevated in the 1960s. Prior to that, there was 4 tracks on the ground. There were grade crossings at each end of the station. There were platforms on each side of the 4-track main, and the Hempstead branch joined up with the main line here at Park Tower. But it looks like we've come full circle, because now the Hempstead branch once again joins the main line here at Park Interlocking. There's 3 Park interlockings. One here, one on the Hempstead branch, and I think they just built one east of here on the main line. Coming west, 542 is train 659, Port Jeff to Jamaica. Another one of those off-peak through trains to Jamaica. Back in the day, these 2 tracks on the left were the Hempstead branch exclusively. Tracks 2 and tracks 1, left to right. Now the track arrangement is 4, 2, 1, and 3. Here comes another diesel. Even have time to think here. That was train 42 from New York to Spionk. Before I was unrudely interrupted, the track arrangement here is today 4, 2, 1, and 3. Years ago that was main lines 2 and 1 left to right. The track arrangement has totally changed. Now you have eastbounds going through here on track 2, which used to be the westbound track from the Hempstead branch. Big changes. Well, he was waiting for traffic to clear, but here we have an equipment train from Hempstead to Grand Central. He's coming off the Hempstead branch here at Park 1. You can see main line track number 2 veering off to the left. That's where the triple track begins, heading east to Hicksville. Oh, here comes a plane that I saw last night, but I didn't get a good look at it. Tonight I'll get a very good look at it. It's loaded with jet-lagged people. Singapore flights 24, non-stop from Singapore, Airbus 350. 17 hours and 15 minutes he's been flying. Consider Singapore Airlines the best airline in the world, I'd be inclined to agree with them. I would definitely fly on them if I had to choose somebody other than Air Canada, British Airways, or Aer Lingus. Well, here's 1060 Penn Station around Kakama. 557 on track 1. Pretty soon I'm going to see something that I've never seen in my nearly 70 years on this earth. A westbound mainline train stopping at Floral Park. Oh, here he comes. 558, train 1561, Huntington to Penn Station. Although I know that this happens many times during the day, this is the first time I've ever actually physically seen a train stop here on that platform. So it's a bit of a historic moment. Since this station was built in the mid-60s, mainline trains, with few exceptions, didn't stop here. There were a handful, but very few. Now I feel more fulfilled in life. Well, it's 6:02, and this is the best place to stand right now. You're looking at the westbound Queens 4 signal. Approaching his train 664 from Penn Station to Port Jeff. Going east on track number 2, and he's flying. .605, Golden Light frames train 562, Jamaica to Oyster Bay. Speeding east on track number 1. Comes 766 from Penn Station to Hempstead at 6:07. Comes 1662 from Grand Central to Huntington at 6:08, going east on track number 3. M9s. At 6:13, coming fast eastbound on number 1 track. Train 2068, Grand Central to Ronkonkoma. The Ronkonkoma Rocket makes his first stop at Brentwood. This train's headed for Huntington, 1562. That was actually 1564 for Huntington, but here comes 1062 for Ronkonkoma on track 1. Here comes train 1967, Ronkonkoma to Penn Station, west on 3. Flying Yankee should be right behind him on 1663, Huntington Grand Central. 763 is in the station around from Hempstead to Grand Central. Here at Queens 4, he's got an approach medium. You'll see him knock the signal down as he heads off into the sunset. His next stop at Belrose, just a short ways away, and UBS Arena at Elmont. Trains are stopping there tonight. He was on there, but I think he was preoccupied with the stop signal he has up ahead at Queens 3. No problem, guy. Well, 628 approaching is 768. Grand Central to Hempstead with 698 from Long Island City to Port Jeff. Sneaking up behind him. comes 698. As church bells play in this beautiful twilight sky, 6:33, I see 3 eastbounds coming. This is 1664, Grand Central Huntington. There are a couple of Ronkonkoma trains coming at me here. This is 1966 from Penn Station to Ronkonkoma. Behind him is 1064 from Penn to Ronkonkoma. He has M3s. .637, here comes 1064. Penn Station, Ronkonkoma, M3s. This guy usually will give you a honk or two. And roaring east at 6:39 is train 22, Jamaica to Montauk. Picking up speed on number 1 track. What a sky. Approaching 642 is 2070, Grand Central to Ronkonkoma, with 770 on the left from Grand Central to Hempstead. Here's 770 coming in. Almost out of light, almost out of battery. Stick around here for a little while longer. Well, here comes 2063, Ronkonkoma to Grand Central, 645. .648. The lighting here is just so spectacular. I just had to hang around as long as I can. Here's 1568 from Penn Station to Huntington, going east on number 3. He's holding up an equipment train out of Hempstead for Grand Central. Let's see if they give him the signal right now. That train just cleared Park. Here it goes. Approach. Well, here comes 566 from Oyster Bay to Jamaica at 650. He's got a clear signal at Queens. That's equipment for Grand Central. We're going to be held up a little bit until traffic clears. If I live to be 150, I don't think I could ever have as beautiful an evening as this. Here comes 566, Penn Station to Oyster Bay on number 1. Train 1666 New York, Grand Central Huntington at 44. Penn Station to Spionk. We'll end with a nice drag race here. It's almost 7. That was undoubtedly a Huntington Penn Station train. And this concludes a glorious afternoon and evening. It's about one of the nicest days I've seen in a long, long time, considering all the rain we've been getting recently. Beautiful.